Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm Rafael Gonzalez, and today I'm gonna tell you some important aspects that I found related to the micro lesson of CLIL that I apply in the school. So I work in a school that is called Liceo Americano. I work there with students from ninth to 11th grade. I'm in high school. Right there in the school, the English classes are divided in four aspects. I mean, like four competences, and each class has the purpose to develop one competence. So, for example, we have classes for grammar, reading. Also, we have listening classes and speaking classes. In this case, I'm working with them during the time that we have for the speaking classes. And I choose the 11th grade because I guess it is the grade which has the best performance in language. So, and I would like them to improve their performance in their language. So, first of all, I mean the topic in this case was social media and networking, and the title was social media and social networking closer than it seems. Yeah, and I would like to start about I mean working or telling you more about the content objectives, which basically we have here some key content language, yeah. But the content objectives were related to let the student identify or which are the social media elements, also illustrate, and finally distinguish which is social media and which is social networking. And the key content language that we used to do this was this type of vocabulary like ads, algorithm, audience, B2B2, and B2C, Mimi, sorry. And it was, I mean, I think that this is an interesting topic for them, not just because they're, I mean, teenagers. I mean, it is because also right now we're living a very interesting moment in our lives, and the social media and social networking have become more important for us, and I mean, we have become uh, in a position closer to these aspects than some time ago. What else I can tell you? Yeah, basically this is what I wanted them to work, like identify, illustrate, and also distinguish. On the other hand, about the language objectives, I want them to recognize, yeah, and illustrate and differentiate those characteristics. And here we have some key general academic language. So we have keywords and vocabulary. We have also general expression to tell ideas. And I want to tell you that the social media was a kind of topic that was in the curriculum, but it was, I mean, the purpose to develop that topic there was not the same that I did using the CLIL, the micro lesson using CLIL. It has a different kind of approach. And in this case, one of the points where was like let the students know or identify which are difference between tell and say. So I work it out there with them because I want them to tell their experiences to create an speech according to the information they already received. So I mean in this case the input. Because one of these strategies that I mean the first strategy was a kind of input. Yeah. We developed the concept with the students. I tell them about the main meaning of those words, etc. Yeah, so that's why I also use it logical connectors to engage ideas and a structure of a speech to express something because I want them to develop their skills to express ideas or express some information that they have in mind. For the strategies, basically, I use, as we already know, three strategies. Uh, they were like the cognitive, metacognitive, and language learning strategies. And for this micro lesson, I proposed like some activities related to the personal experience. So first of all, I want them to identify their experiences under their own view, also under the parents' view, and tell those a story. Yeah. Also, I help them to organize and synthesize any information according to some type of videos, articles, or other type of sources where they were able to find information. Yeah. So their speech was, I mean, I did this in order to let them identify which words can be used or which keywords can be used in order to create a, a, a good speech according to a topic and a specific topic. Yeah. And finally, the language learning strategies. I didn't use pretty much the drawing because at this moment it was very hard due to the situation of the virtual classes. However, I used the self-monitoring and self-correcting while speaking English. Yeah, and they did it when they were speaking. I want them to do it, and it really helps them during the evolution of the class. I really love that strategy that I use. About the initial students' attitude, it was not as I wanted, because they were finishing the first trimester. They were very tired, however, and they had a good attitude. However, they were like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. Let's see what we're gonna see today. A new topic, a new more speaking activities. And when I started to propose something different, they start to, their visages changed and their attitude changed. Yeah. And when I propose them to think about real experiences and personal experiences, they start to have an interaction. Yeah, they start to have a good interaction between them, and everything changed during the class. Now I want to tell you more about the findings. So I found some trouble. Yeah. And at the beginning of the lesson, I felt, yeah, as I told you, that they were not completely prepared for the class. They didn't have any idea about what we were talking about. Or actually, they had an idea, but it was not the idea that I want them to have. The common idea. So the discussion about the meanings started, and it was not very long. However, the discussion between the personal experiences started. It was very long, and I found that using these strategies help these students to identify how to develop their speech. Yeah. And students felt better when they were talking about their own situation. Not just thinking about an input that I already placed. Not in that case, I found that they really love to speak about their own situations. I feel sometimes that what they wanna that what they want is someone who listen to them, because most of the time teachers are speaking, explaining, telling them what to do, telling them how to do. But in this case, I guess they found that it was different because between they and me, we developed the way to do it. We develop these strategies, the speech strategies to develop the ideas based on some information and based in their own experiences. So the findings were very interesting for me, but what I found also was like they as this was a speaking class, it was not appropriated to propose activities by writing. Yeah. Actually, if I would do that as a homework in order to let them know that there is another way to create a speech, it would be awesome. However, I tried to do it in the class, and it was a little bit hard. Another point interesting about it was that the assessment of the students was done in the class, during the class. Most of the time when we were developing the normal classes, I asked them to send them videos according to their activity. But in this case, the assessment was different. I did the assessment during the class, and the students felt better because I was telling them what was going well or what was going, not, like bad. In that case, I forgot the other word. Sorry. uh so they were like the findings about it. Yeah, they became more interested about a topic, and actually after some classes, I start to develop another project that I guess is also related to the CLIL. It is not illustrated here, but I started to develop a project, a campaign, a social campaign with the students. So and they become interesting to do it, and because they really wanted to do it because there was a kind of project in groups, and they felt that they had a responsibility to develop it. Yeah, so I started to use different strategies, and not strategies like writing, yeah, writing strategies, but just writing a little some keywords, and then during the class justify that information, justify what they already sent via email, because I had to have some evidences. About the challenges, there are some interesting aspects. So first of all, was like as I told you before, the grading activities were not I mean, I didn't think them properly, I guess. For example, the mind map, I guess it was too much better to develop it before entering class. Before before getting to the class, I guess that input activity would be, I mean, could be developed in with an autonomous activity that each student would be able to do before getting to the class, and then during the class with the mind map we would be able to have a better discussion. That's why it was a little bit hard to have a discussion about the concepts of the social media and social networking. But as they have everything clear in their mind about their own life, about their experience, it was easier to talk about their own experiences. So I think that was an important point. Another thing is like, I guess it would be able to have 2 lessons to develop this, because 35 minutes, it was, I mean, I actually, we ended the class, and then we had to get in again, get into the class again. I mean, because we have the free version of Zoom, so we had to get again to the class, and then develop, I mean, finish everything. So it took a lot of time, and actually now with the project I'm finishing it, it is taking a lot of. So the time that we had to do it, I'm so sorry, I had to cut the video a little bit because I received a call. The time that I had to do it was very short. And now that we're developing the activity about the project, I mean, the project that is basically designing uh kind of campaign in order to let the others, I mean, the younger students of the school, to know how to use social media and social networking properly, how to use their information, what I mean, the interaction with other people, etc. So it is taking a lot of time because they have a lot of questions. And I mean, I guess, or I'm feeling that we're doing CLIL because right now we are working in a topic using English, but I mean, we are centered in developing the project, developing the campaign, but behind that we are developing the language skills of the students, and they are going to do some type of videos, infographics, they are going to do also some kind of cartoons. So I think that we are finding it, yeah. And I felt that I mean, we are doing right now this project because it was an opportunity that I found. Yeah, this was not included in the curriculum, so I found that actually starting developing this type of information, it was an opportunity to develop it. Yeah, so right now I'm so happy because my students are developing a campaign, and we're gonna launch it in the school's page for the students from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. I'm so happy about it. And actually, I will see a new or a different way to assess them. And I mean, it's like which will be the result of that. And yeah, I feel that we will do a very good job. So that was everything. Right now, we're doing a project about a campaign, and we just started with this, talking about social media, identifying their concepts, identifying what is the real meaning of those elements, which are, I mean, closer than we see, very, very, very close than we see. So that was everything. Thank you very much for listening to me. Actually, I think that CLIL is going to be a very, very good tool for me. Now I'm going to try to do it with, actually, I did it this week because I asked my students from ninth grade to look up for some information about the bridges in London, because we're working some Great Expectations in reading. So I guess also we're developing CLIL behind just reading the book. I want them to make a research using the English in another environment and making a research. It's very interesting for them, and also speaking about it because there are some kind of new cultural aspects that they are learning through English. So actually we have like 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. So thank you very much. Actually, I really like how to develop. I really like developing CLIL, and I will look up for new strategies to finish and good way my classes. So that was all. Thank you.